good.
Hey. All right. We are here with Mr. McGovern, and we're going to ask him some questions about his time on the new Milford Police Department. You want to go first, or you want me to?
All right, I'll go first.
You go first.
So, what was your favorite call to go on?
Favorite call to go on. You get called to a variety of different calls.
One that sticks out.
Well, there's a lot. I mean, we were just talking about people who have psychological problems. Sometimes that can be an amusing call. So, for instance, you would go to someone's apartment and they would show up with aluminum foil on top of their head because the aliens are hearing voices and they want to be protected from that. So there's a lot. I mean, I think sometimes the most rewarding calls are aid calls. Sometimes, where you go, cops are always called as first responders. Doesn't matter what the call is. Cops are always going to be the first car there, first responded to every call. And that could be an aid call. It could be, I had 3 calls that I had delivered 3 babies.
Oh, that was one of my questions.
So I've delivered 3 babies. Now,
all on separate occasions?
All separate occasions, not the same one, all different. So it was pretty scary. My first one, I must have been like 21 years old as a cop. I came on the job when I was 20. And we had a call about an accident, just like on Christmas Eve. This was an accident call, and several cars are in the intersection. And we get there, we realize it's not an accident, but there's a car right in the middle of the intersection, and the doors are open, and there's a woman in the back seat, and that baby's head is coming out of her. So that was the first call we had for a baby. But there's a lot of rewarding calls. So successful, thank God, to deliver 3 babies. But even on CPR calls, where you bring someone back to life, that's pretty amazing. So cops do that all the time. I've been involved in a house fire where we had to drag people out of a house. So when you save someone's life, that's pretty amazing. On the other hand, there are times when you don't save people's lives. My very first call as a cop was a young kid who was 3 years old who had drowned in a pool. So that was my very first call. And I gave the kid mouth to mouth, and we lost the kid. So we drove. I'm in the back seat, my partner's in the front seat. We're going like 90 miles an hour to get to the hospital. We lost the baby. So that always plays in the back of your mind. So there's highs and lows, with the job. But I think anytime you do a good job, if you make a solid arrest, you get a bad person off the street, that makes you feel good about yourself. It makes you feel that you're part of a good organization. But I'll tell you this: that sometimes it's just being on patrol, talking to people. When I ended up my career, I ran a community policing unit, and that was part of our mission, was to go out into the community and develop partnerships with the people in the community. And that was very rewarding. From kids to senior citizens to businesses to churches, that is very rewarding when you talk about us working together as a community to build a better community, fight crime, and just make our lives better. And I think they appreciate that. I think they appreciate when the police department does that. When they have good cops who care and really take pride in what they do. I think that's a great deal. So.
You answered.
I have an interview, but maybe like 5 minutes.
I'll give you a call sometime.
All right, good.
Do what you
All
gotta
right.
You answered 3 of my questions in one answer. It's pretty good.
Wow.
I was changing everything around, but this leads to what's currently going on right now in the United States. you know, it's sad what's going on with the police department and, you know, people rioting and stuff and these lone wolves. So how do you personally feel about what's going on in the country right now and the attack on police?
Well,
And
it's
what do you think that needs to
well,
get done to
it's
fix
a
it?
different challenge. This is nothing new. We've had things like this in the past. You go back to the 1960s, we had race riots in Newark, in Englewood, other places. So it's nothing new. Race is always going to be an issue when it comes to policing, especially poor, urban, minority neighborhoods. So that's an issue that needs to be at least looked at. I think the ideals of community policing are really good. The fact that the police form partnerships with people, whether they're rich, whether they're poor, whether they're black, whether they're white, whether they're Indian, I don't care what they are. These are our people. These are the people in our community. We're gonna try to make everything for them safe, and we need your help. We need help with the community. So I think that, you know, we talk about it in our classes. You know, cops need better verbal skills. So I think that's even the incident in Hopatcon. Would I feel like smacking the guy? Sure. Would I smack the guy? Probably not. All right. I might have laughed along with him. I might have immediately taken the blowhorn out of his hand. All right. But that's what happens. Those are the challenges of being a good cop. You know, police officers go to a police academy. There's a very stringent written, physical, oral background, psychological. Not everybody can pass that. Most people can't pass it. So that's important, just to get into the police department. Then you got to do 28 weeks in an academy. That means every morning, PT, tests. They got to score at least an 80 on every test that they take. Firearms, practical scenarios. It's not easy. After you get out of the academy, it's 3 months of field training. So so you're almost a year in this whole process. You're on probation for at least 1 year. You screw up, you're gone. You
No
know.
questions asked.
Yeah, that's it. You're done. So it's a challenging, difficult job. It can't be done by everybody, and they're asking cops to do more with less, and it's challenging. It really is. You know, that's why I say cops don't get paid enough. They need to get paid more, all right, because of the responsibilities that they have. You know, so.
This is the final question right here.
Alright, so how is the transition from retiring from the police force to becoming a teacher for law enforcement and criminal justice?
Well, it was easy for me simply because, in addition to being a cop, I was a coach. So I always look at coaching, and I you know, I tell you, when I was in 8th grade or 9th grade, I wanted to be a phys ed teacher. I wanted to coach. I wanted to be a phys ed teacher. You know, so I kind of had that as a personality trait, maybe, that I liked to be able to teach young people, to coach. I still coach today. So I coach semi-pro football with a team called the Sussex Stags. So I've coached 20 some odd years of high school football, and that made me a better teacher, because you need to be good at communicating. You need to be able to be good in your practice organization. You need to be able to lead people. So to me, that's teaching. You know, that the goals might be different, but the way you go about it is still the same. So I think coaching, teaching, and even in police work, it kind of meshes together a little bit. You know, so I think it's very closely related. But I think coaching made me a better teacher. And it's interesting, even here at the college, they used to have musicals here. And somehow I got talked into joining up with the theater group, right? I have no talent at all right? And they cast me as the cop. I always played the cop, all right? But that was a different experience for me. Actually helped me become a better teacher. Because when you're on stage, you can't have stage fright. You've got to be able to speak in front of a group of 10 or a group of 1,000. You know, so that's a good skill. I mean, and then I actually gave the graduation speech here at the college, which was great. It was a great honor for me to do that, represent the faculty. But to get up in front of a group of 1,000 and give a speech, not an easy thing to do sometimes. You know, you need to prepare yourself for that. You know, you guys might as well prepare for this. You go, oh, I don't think I'm ever going to do that. You might. You never know where you might have to do this. In the police world, your boss may say, we're sending you to dare school. You're going to be a dare instructor. But I don't want to be a dare instructor. You're a dare instructor. All right? So now you got to go teach kids. I had cops that worked for me. They'd go to a gun call. They'd go to a fire. They'd go to a bar fight. But I asked them to stand up in front of a group of like kindergarten kids. They're sweating. They're like, you know, they just can't do it. You know, so, but I think that no matter where you are in your life, you're going to learn new experiences. Every day is a new experience. If you can learn from that and improve yourself, that's the key. That's the key. And you can learn from anybody. You can learn from the president of the college. You can learn from the custodian. You can learn from anybody. All right? And I would say never think you're above anybody else. The best leaders in this world never really consider themselves anything special. You know, they're just part of a team. That's all it is. You know, so.
Well, definitely had a lot to write down there. Last question: favorite football team?
Well, I like.
We know you're a Rangers fan.
I like Rangers. I'm probably more of a Giant fan than I'm a Jet fan.
Yeah.
But I mean, I actually like college football better than I like pro
Alright.
football.
Favorite college team?
You know what? There's so many. My son's a big Rutgers fan. They're not doing too good. I got Rutgers stuff over here, you know.
Yeah.
But I just like watching college football. You know, used to be Notre Dame, but I don't like the coach, so I've changed teams now. I just like watching college athletes. I like watching college basketball. You know, I think it's better than the pros. You know, there's nothing more exciting than college basketball, especially when you get to the Final Four. So, I mean, I go, like even here at the college, I'll go to most of the games here, you know, and just see our kids and give them support. I think it's important for them, so.
All right. Well, anything else, guys?
I think that's it.
I think that was pretty well informative. So.
Thank
Give
you.
these guys an A,
Thank
Mike.
you.
These guys get an A, all right?
Let's show that on our
Okay, guys.
presentation.
Pleasure to meet you guys.